Hi, dear viewers. This is our live Q&A session with the representative of the Defense Intelligence of Ukraine. It's Vlad. Hi, Vlad.
Yeah, hello. Thank you very much for
how are you doing?
attention for our unit. I'm fine, thank you.
Thanks. Thanks so much for coming here, first of all. And hopefully me and you will answer all your guys' questions that you can post online in our chat or that you have previously asked us in different platforms. So I have a couple questions of my own to begin with, and we'll start with the basic. I would like to ask you to introduce yourself a little bit. What are you doing at the DIU or GUR? Could you please tell us?
Yeah, hello. My name is Volodymyr. My call sign is Vlad. I am Ukrainian officer of the International Legion of DIU. So actually now I am part of the team of Ukrainian officers responsible for the building of possibilities for our foreign legionnaires to serve in armed forces of Ukraine. There are actually two international legions in the country, so I represent DIU, or how it's well known, like GUR Legion. Mm-hmm. Yes, and now I'm doing this help to make this happen. This is your first stream and question-answer session. My congratulations about it.
Thanks so much. Well, I guess my first question will be the most, introduction one. So there is, as you said, there are two international legions in the armed forces of Ukraine. One actually belongs to the armed forces of Ukraine, and the other one belongs to you guys, to the DIU. So what is the main difference between these two establishments?
Yeah, we have very lot of confusions with this, because both units have name and title Legion, and then our foreign recruits and other people, they don't understand the difference. So at last I'll have the possibility to explain it. So our Legion, Defense Intelligence of Ukraine, and International Legion of Defense of Ukraine, it's different units in different branches of armed forces of Ukraine. So the word Legion is not like a brand. The word Legion is something like type of the unit. It's like brigade, mm-hmm. or like company, like mm-hmm. Legion. So if it has name Legion and it has the other unit has name Legion, it's like 3rd Brigade or 12th Brigade. Yeah. It's not the same unit because both are brigades. Mm-hmm. Okay. So the main difference is that International Legion of Defense of Ukraine, like Land Forces Legion, they provide like more infantry type, large unit type of operations. It's like brigade infantry. Mm-hmm. Our unit is, first of all, is a special activity unit. We are part of the main Directorate of Intelligence of Ukraine, of Ministry of Defense of Ukraine. Mm-hmm. And we provide special activity operations. The International Legion of DIU is one of the special activity units that mm-hmm. we have in our agency. Mm-hmm. Our agency is intelligence agency. So the tasks that we do, it's the tasks that provide, first of all, for highest political military leadership of our country with some advantages that they need. Mm-hmm. And with information to make right decisions.
Mm-hmm. There is a kind of a stereotype that if you are a foreigner, that you will be given some not such interesting job. At least it is so in the International Legion of Armed Forces of the Land Forces of Ukraine, right? But how does it work in your unit? Do you keep Westerners? Do you assign foreigners to some special operations like we know GUR does? You know, maybe going well behind the zero line, or how does it? If you can say so, I understand a lot of information is classified, but if you could give the basic understanding on that.
Okay, I'll do it from the little bit from the very beginning. So our unit is the unit that its architecture from the very beginning was built to have almost all the personnel foreigners. Mm-hmm. Foreigners in our country, according to the legislation, they cannot be officers, but they can get any position in combat teams, in support teams. So our unit is military unit, and definitely each position, when you not just watch some video, but you actually start to do this, you know, there is in some period of time becomes that it's nothing sexy. So it's first of all teamwork, and everybody really rely on each other. So if it's even not really interesting job, but it has to be done because somebody's life will depend of it.
Yeah.
So our foreigners, they are mostly from Western countries. We talked to our officers and we counted, and we didn't find any like elite Western countries special unit very famous, like Green Beret, like Delta Force, like French Legion, or some Navy SEALs. So we have in our unit, or had on some period of time, like guys from all the most elite units from the country. They are our teammates. Of course, they serve in combat teams. Of course, they serve in support teams. We have entire like big teams that only foreigners in. So it's special activity unit, and like 70% of the personnel are foreigners. Of course, they do all this job.
You mentioned the architecture of the Legion. So when we were at the training camp, like some time ago, we noticed that you have like this like team systems. You call it the like team leader of this team and so on. Could you maybe explain that a little bit? What are maybe like the main teams, if we can call them like that, or how does International Legion work as a structure, basically?
Yeah, this structure is built, you know, like an answer to the current battlefield environment that we have. Because this war now, it's war of small teams. And the same picture like from our side and the same picture from the enemy's side. Yes, we have structure. We have structure. Our unit, DIU Legion, is nothing about some chaotic running around the country, like doing what you want to do and something like this. Yes, we have short period of time in the very beginning of the war, when nobody of us, Ukrainian officers, like assigned to build this unit, knew how to do it. And yes, in the very beginning we had some issues, okay? But now it's very well organized, structured, with processes, with planning, with training, with like these very well-known Western units that you all see in the movie. And we have structure, like Legion consists from with squadrons. Yes, I don't want to really discuss numbers.
Sure.
Yes, but it's squadrons type. Yeah. So it's actually guys from the community that understand this idea, because it's like soft type of unit. Yes. And this squadron is divided for teams, combat teams. These teams can have different speciality. For example, that guys that you made material with, they are medical team, evacuation team, yes, and
50-50.
grenade launcher team, yes, I love them. Some other teams can be supper teams, AOD, like snipers teams, yes. And so that's it. So we have small teams, but it's not because it's cool or it's sexy or it's we want to look cool. Just because this war is war of small teams. It's very hard to collect and to provide some operations with large scale, a lot of people, you know, like brigade size assault. Yes, we can't do this. So something like this, yes.
And can a newcomer, like for example, I want to be a part of a Legion, can the newcomer choose exactly which team he wants to be in? Or is it assigned after specific training or, I don't know, exams? How does it work?
So guys, recruits, like potential recruits, we have quite defined couple types of the guys. So our unit provides direct recruiting to our unit. We have quite powerful, like for Ukraine especially, social media resources. So anytime anybody can send a direct message there and to say, like, guys, I want to join, what should I do? Then guys will ask for some specific questions, but nothing really serious. We don't ask to send your passport. We don't ask to send your like some personal data or photo or something. We just ask how to contact you via different messengers, Western messengers. Okay. Then this number is given to the recruiting department, and guys from recruiting department start to keep in touch with this person and explain him next steps. Like,
very interesting. So now we are coming closer to the, I guess, the most interesting for our viewers part, because we got a lot of questions, which basically sound the same. How do I join the International Legion? So, okay, I have contacted the unit I would like to work, for example, Metim Alpha, and then what do I need to have? What do I need to know? How does the process look like? What are you guys looking for? Maybe some red flags. Could you walk us through this stage of recruitment?
Okay, if to finish answer for previous question, yes, you can message guys if you know them personally in some specific team to have agreement. And of course, these guys, if they will say that we need this guy, we want him to be part of our team, yeah, you will be in the team if you pass the initial selection and training process. If a guy doesn't know nobody in this unit, like at all, he can just send a message, direct message to our social media pages. It's the most safe and the most easy way. Just direct, guys, I want to join, what should I do? So then these guys from recruiting team contact him, then they explain him what to take with them, like what to expect on the first steps, because we don't really want to like expose all our SOP and processes. So from guys from community that have experience of service in their armies, in some special units or some armies of their country, this process is very familiar, because our legionnaires, like guys from like Rangers, like GIJN, different special, well-known, like worldwide elite units, they actually helped us to build this system. That's why this pipeline is very well like Western type, organized, with very similar SOPs. So we have initial selection stage. After initial selection stage, somebody goes forward, somebody not. Then we have training, basic infantry training course, and guys that have experience of wars in different other wars, they shouldn't be like say no to go through it just because they have experience. Nobody actually prepared for this kind of warfare here. So definitely everybody, it doesn't matter who has what experience and how many like campaigns he has behind his shoulders, everybody go through the course that like it takes not weeks, it takes months. So for experienced guys, it will be something like refreshing the skills, like return to basics, remembering some stuff that he could forget while he was not on duty, yes, and adaptation for this reality, adaptation for these new processes that we see in this war, yes, because a lot of things is very, very new, and even for us, it changes each like half a year. So guys, when they show up, yes, they can be very, very experienced, but they should be aware and know what's going on actually, to not make mistakes. A lot of their skills that they implemented successfully in Iraq, Afghanistan, here, it can kill them. So that's why everybody goes through this training. Then, guys, if they have agreement with some specific team where they want to serve, they will definitely be sent to this team. If they don't know anybody, they will be able to know all the team, not team members, but squadrons, to meet squadrons representatives, yes, and to make decision, or some specific squadron will want to introduce him to their unit.
Yeah.
Yes. After this, they go to their squadrons, to their teams. They start to hang around, to speak to the guys, to exchange experience. Yes, you can be the guy without no experience, then to be a teammate with some former ranger, like guy with tons of experience. They start to train with each other. They start to discuss, exchange experience. Yes, and then when soon will be deployment, they go to pre-deployment training with all their unit.
Yeah.
It's also months. Mm-hmm. So what I want to say that the guys, from the moment of the crossing the border to the moment when they will actually be allowed to take part in some missions, in some operations, it takes sometimes like 4, 5, 6 months. And we have a rule. Also, we have a rule, the guys need to know about this, that if, for example, guy finished this infantry, but it's more right to say adaptation course, mm-hmm. If his unit that he is assigned to now is in deployment, he will not go there. He will wait, mm-hmm. train until his unit will roll back for recovery mm-hmm. period, join them, go through pre-deployment training, and then he goes with him to take part in missions.
So they can learn how to work as a team, as I understand,
yes,
right?
Definitely.
Because I think that's very important.
Definitely.
Okay, that we covered. Thank you so much. There was a lot of people were asking, what is the main red flags? Like having done this and this, or I don't know, not having done this and this. This is a no-go for Ukrainians, for Ukraine's International Legion. Could you name some?
Sure. Like the most obvious. So the first one is not ability to speak English fluently. Mm-hmm. And our main language in our unit, even the language that we use during missions, and missions are tough environment, and you don't have time, to sit with Google Translate to understand what this guy meant. Yes, mm-hmm. So English required. Mm-hmm. It can be like basic English, like not a very big vocabulary, but during these months you will level up it. Mm-hmm. But if the guy doesn't speak English at all, so no. Mm-hmm. The second one is not ability to change mindset and to be in line with reality. Some foreigners, very experienced foreigners with huge background of some special units like in their story, they show up here, and me personally, it's position of mine, not of my unit, yes, they show up here with this some kind of white master mode. They will teach us and teach everybody how to win this war. Uh-huh. Yes, and they start to arguing with everybody just because in Fallujah we made this and you don't understand, let's do this. So they just don't know what they're talking about. Mm-hmm. And the main part, they don't really ready to adopt their mindset and to look critically for their experience, yes, and start to learn and change it. Mm-hmm. So if we see that the guy just and is not ready to learn mm-hmm. and to go through adaptation and to serve, not to help, but to serve here. Yeah. This is very big issue, and no matter what his previous background was, we will ask him to leave. It's the main, very, very often that what we meet very, very often.
I really liked your quote, to people coming to help but not to serve. And as I remember also in the beginning, there was a lot of people who from different countries who wanted to help. But after the first shelling or after the first, I don't know, anything, they would pack their things and go. And back at the time, Ukraine didn't have a rule that, like, the contract, you didn't have to stay and serve for 6 months. But now, as I know, it's changed. So now minimum contract term is how much? 6 months?
So the guys that signed the contract, they signed the contract for 3 years, but they have ability to cancel this contract, or how to say right in English, like abort this contract in 6 months. So in 6 months they have possibility like to leave, and it will be like no problem. So our unit, we don't try to keep people that don't want to do something, you know, execute missions or something. We try to keep guys that are like our pack. So, and this is not really big problem. And if a guy made very emotional decision and he didn't really understand where he is going, and when he just says that, guys, I'm not ready. So there is no problem about this. One more time, he will go through all this training, and it will not be like that he will be sent to some operation like next day after crossing the border. Nothing like this happens now. So this is not a very big problem. But a lot of guys, they can help with supporting some stuff. But usually if guy doesn't really ready to take part in missions, he will not stay in the unit for a while.
We've met people, like you also said, people with a very big, major background in their countries, in the army, I mean. But now, as you also said, that fighters of the International Legion, they cannot be basically foreigners, they cannot be officers. I also heard some rumors that it will soon change. Do you have any information, yes or whether to? Do you have anything to add to this?
So, like we officers of the unit, we do a lot of speakings, like meetings, like a very lot of work to make possible this legislation rules changed on some stage. First is citizenship. We work a lot to do it, but it's not our level of possibilities.
Of course.
Yes, we talk about, we bring messages, we like write reports about it. Yes, the same is about this officer's status. So it's not really my level of competence and my level of access. So I hope that this possibility will be, but the procedure will be also like in one line with reality.
Okay, well, let's hope we'll see some changes sometime soon. Now, I would like to ask, it's maybe kind of a difficult or, I don't know, hard topic, but it's war and it's a reality. So, for example, let's say you got the contract, you're serving, and it so happens in the war, and it happens quite often that you get injured, that you can die. What does soldier of International Legion of DIU can expect in terms of if he gets wounded, if he dies, what his family can expect for? Could you explain that a little bit? Because I know how it works in Ukraine, but...
Yeah, sure. If not to start describe it in really deep, you know, the small procedures.
But
generally,
yeah.
So if guy wounded, so our unit has very well organized medical evacuation process. And it's like staged, like in NATO system medical evacuation. We have first stage, second stage, third stage, hospitals, and the stabilization points. Everything works here. And I can say it like truly, yes, I can say it, that our unit has, if to compare with other units of armed forces of Ukraine, with different other units, we have quite low rate of KIA because of planning procedures, because of preparation for the missions, because of long period of time of training for the guys. And I spent 1 year in Ukrainian air assault forces. And other forces. I can say that our unit is quite, from this perspective, organized. So what they can expect? First of all, teammates will do everything to evacuate them. The second, they will go to stabilization point. They will be treated like how it should be. Then they go to hospital, and the hospital they get all the medical help. Yes, and when this guy on this stage, the paperwork starts to be done with the medical department of our unit. Yes, and the paperwork that this guy can get some injury payments. Yes, if guy is not with us anymore, so we have possibility to contact with relatives, usually through the embassy. So we are in touch with all embassies, like guys that serve in our unit. We like organize the process of doing all the paperwork, how to do, how to bring the guy home. All the system, all this pipeline is working, and yes, it's working.
Okay, well, thanks. I think it might be important for people who might want to join to hear. Okay, now I guess to the more pleasant part. Also, a question that I meet often, that I hear often. So, how much do soldiers of International Legion paid, and like how does this payment system work? And because I know there is like certain like grades. I mean, like if you are in combat, so basically what people can expect to be paid if.
Yeah, sure. So first of all, Legion guys and foreigners in Ukraine, they are not mercenaries.
That's important.
Every guy, everybody, every girls, they are official military personnel with the status, with restrictions, with the possibilities what they can do or not can do. Yes, so it's like soldiers, officially soldiers, and they get official military payment. The first block of payment that everybody gets, it's about 50,000 hryvnia per month. It's like basic, like core payment. Also, they get plus 30,000 hryvnias. It's like, I don't know how to translate it in English, right? But it's some kind of bonuses for the service.
Service bonuses.
Yeah. But I don't.
Like,
to be accurate, I just don't remember how to translate.
Okay.
Also, when guys are deployed and they are executing missions, and they like in this whole paperwork they do official missions. They get extra payment till 100,000 hryvnias, like extra, for this period when they deployed. It's if this is if about numbers. I can share with you some link. We could put it in it's English speaking link. We can put it under the video if needed.
Oh, yeah. By the way, dear viewers, if you're interested in the details, we already put some links in the caption for this video. You can already contact Gu or learn more. So yeah, don't be shy. And all the numbers that Vlad shared, we'll try to also put all the information there for you guys to find out. Okay, let's move on. So on the I'm going to read this one because this one is long. So on September 7, which is a DIU Day in Ukraine, you have named 17 operations that the International Legion was taking part in. And the International Legion was taking part in from like battles around Kiev in the beginning of 2022. Then some parts of it were taken battles around Kharkiv, then around Kherson, then Bakhmut, and basically all of the hottest spots of this war, including the Kharkiv battle in 2024 when Russia decided to move that way again. So could you name your personal favorite operation of the International Legion of GUR?
First moment, 7th of September, it's not if accurate, the day of GUR, of DIU. It's the day of military intelligence, military reconnaissance, military, everybody that do this intelligence reconnaissance process. So we have the guys that do on the tactical level reconnaissance in battalions, in brigades, so it's their day also. But we designate it like our day. Yes. So the question was my personal.
Yeah. As a part of this structure, as a person, just interested in what you find the most amazing and fascinating.
Of course, the most amazing and most was Kiev operation. Kiev operation, because
Why?
it was very beginning, and it was really intense. Yes, and it was really unusual, because before that, during that moment, like 8 years, it was quite stable front line. Yes.
Yeah.
So it was like long distance sniper disturbing operations, and bang, and you have this very intense urban warfare. Yes, with cities, with villages, with like everything. So it was. So I was during 2 years, I was team leader of the team. Yes. Now I do more organizational processes.
I'm sorry, but you were actually like in a fighting unit?
Yes. I was team leader.
In the Foreign Legion?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Cool.
So I was part of Kiev operation. I was part of Bakhmut activities, different, like not all the campaign, but different activities.
Yeah.
I was part in different missions in the like Marinka direction, Ugledar direction. I was part of counteroffensive operations. This job is like personally for me. Maybe somebody from mates will not agree with this, and I'm here first of all like official guy. It's not interview of lad, it's interview of representative of the DIU Legion, the Directorate of Intelligence. So this is a job, a routine job, and there is nothing sexy in it. Yes, and when guys show up here, they should understand that it's very hard a job with that eats everything in you. Yes. And sometimes you don't have possibility to rest, to recovery, or because intensity is quite big. And on some point, in a couple months, you stop feeling some like extra emotions about that. Yes, you start like designate something like, yeah, it was cool, or no, it was like not interesting, or something. So for us, it's our like lifestyle. For us, it's something like environment in what you live. Yes, and that's why it's hard to answer this question from the perspective like what was the best of the best. So the task can be done or not done, and for us, even it's not our level to decide is it successful or not successful.
Yeah.
Yes, our leadership of our agency, of our military political leadership of our country, they give us a task, we execute it. We execute it or not execute it. And mostly, always, we execute it.
Well, thanks for executing, really. Then let me rephrase the question in a different way. So you've seen this war, the full-scale war. From the very beginning, now 2.5 years in your opinion, how did it change so far? What changed? What are the tendencies? I don't know.
If not to discuss some obvious stuff like, there are drones here.
No, well, let's, we think our viewers are way more advanced than that, and we are also,
yes,
but maybe some...
If to compare like 22, 23, 24, there was always an issue, like a tempo of change that are happening. And if in the very beginning, this tempo of change, and so the Kiev campaign was very different from April, March, Zaporizhia campaign. In Kiev campaign, we have very intense urban streets, buildings, all this stuff. Then you have Zaporizhia campaign, so a couple months passed, you have different direction. So intensity of changes were like months.
Yeah.
In 23, intensity of changes became like months, sometimes weeks. Yes. Now we have the intensity of changes like sometimes days. Because one of the issues that we have now, like for example drones, and today one frequency works, and you're okay because you have all the jamming system. Tomorrow, not guys, but enemy change the frequencies on their FPVs, and you have to sort it out because, for example, your jamming system is not like in one line with this to deal with this. And changes like all the time, and it's days, like weeks. So the speed of changes, the criteria is brings a lot of differences.
Yeah, I understand. I guess that's because I was honestly very surprised about how serious you are taking this, like the training basically, because we were witnessing it. And I spoke to several soldiers, and they also said all the same. It just changes too fast. It's even and they said that you have the rule. Even if you've been fighting, for example, I know for 5 months, and then you're out for just for 1 month, you'll still have to go through the training course again, just for this adaptation course. Is that true, or maybe I misunderstood?
No, we have like a circle. So when the guy is in the unit and he passed like selection, initial selection, adaptation training, infantry training, and when he actually joined his team, so they have quite standard circle when they are deployed, have deployment, then they have some period of vacation, then they have next deployment, like pre-deployment training. And this is like, it's a circle of life.
Good. In these 2.5 years, how did the number of foreign volunteers decrease or increase, and what are the tendencies, and what do you expect to happen? Maybe what countries are more active or less active? Can you speak about that, please?
Just in general.
No, obviously, without numbers.
Most of our personnel, yes, we also counted in our unit in all the period of it existing, and it exists since 7th March of 22. Foreigners from more than 50 countries were our legionnaires. But definitely the biggest part are guys from Western countries.
Like?
Great Britain, United States, France, New Zealand, Australia, Denmark, Norway, like European countries, Poland guys. We have very big community, like Belarusians, Georgians. So this is like the main quantity of guys from these countries, from the Western world. Yes, and how it changed? Yes, it decreased, but again, there is a myth that in the very beginning, it's not a myth. In the very beginning, we had entire flow of foreigners that wanted to join the armed forces of Ukraine and take part in operations. But a lot of these people that showed up here in the very beginning, there were a lot of them, they made like wrong decision. They were not really ready for this. And of course, in some period of time, they left. Also, we had some amount of this, like we discussed earlier, like white masters here, that yes, they showed up here, then they started to teach how to leave this unit, no, this unit, no, this unit. Then they decided and they love to scream all over the world, Ukrainians are corrupted, and go away. But their activity was totally not relevant about what's going on. Yes. So of course all these people in some period of time started to leave, and that's why the amount of legionnaires decreased. Yes, just everybody like war tourists, like guys that just adrenaline to get high, not to surf and to be a soldier during years or months, but just to show up, to run around, to shoot a K. Then he is tired and he left home. A lot of this type of people left. And the main part, the main golden core of the foreigners, and a lot of them from the very beginning. And the main value, the main basement that we have in our unit, the guys that are with us from the very, very beginning, from Kyiv campaign, from the very beginning of the spring of 22, they are here. And they are like real our value. And we have a joke. We call it like surgeon corps. Like a Western type surgeon corps.
Okay.
Yeah. Why Western? Because a lot of Western.
No,
yes.
clearly.
Okay.
Okay. Actually, had a question, but I just forgot it. I just left. So there's a lot of questions. How can one help the International Legion if they don't want to fight? Maybe you have guys. Maybe you guys have a foundation or something. How can a just regular person help if this person doesn't want to hold a gun?
Yes, and there are really a lot of this type of people. First, International Legion of DIU is something like, it's not just special activity unit. It's like a bridge between Western world, between our partners countries and Ukrainian armed forces. Because we have all these guys that are here with us and they are in their background really like have a really solid backgrounds. Yes, they also have solid connections. That's why this activity we also provide. But
Hopefully.
this is nothing about question and answer on United 24 first show.
Yeah.
Okay. The second, we have a lot of people all over the world that still really want to help Ukraine. And we also created this Legion support community. Yes, it's based on the charity foundation in Ukraine. It's called Legion Support. It's easy to remember. But it's something kind communities. We have these Legion support cells in Lithuania, Estonia, Latvia, in Luxembourg. Thank you very much to them. I catch the moment to thank you very much. In the United States, in different countries. And only one thing that what we try to bring with this Legion support community, we just help these people that want to help us. Because very a lot of them, they don't know whom to speak to in Ukraine.
Yeah.
There are a lot of cases when reputation was has a little bit problems because they worked with somebody, this somebody makes something, and now everybody discusses that all the Ukrainians are not really good. That's why we propose ourselves like a communication bridge. So we have our reputation, we have our like media presence, and we explain them first how to do it technically. So it's some humanitarian aid, even if we don't need it. We'll point them and like introduce them to the organization that they will need. Or we will explain them why their proposal or help is not relevant. Still a lot of people in other countries, they really believe and they think that this needed and we say like, no. And we help them to explain what actually is going on here and how they can be efficient and have this like good rate of what they do.
Actually, I have a question. The one. So you are in contact with the Western, well, let's call it like foreign Western world constantly. What is the biggest misunderstanding or misconception about Ukraine from the outsiders? Because obviously there are some stereotypes, but maybe something that you personally notice that you meet often.
I wouldn't like to be like regular YouTube expert and everything.
Okay.
You know,
but I'm just asking about your experience and only not...
Everybody very different. The main part that when our worlds communicate with each other, there are two issues. First is language barrier. It's not the critical. Everybody speaks English. The second one is cultural barrier. And the same thing as Ukrainians think that American citizens or American people or British people or French people, they don't understand Ukrainians. But actually, very often Ukrainians also don't understand American people, British people, French people, and other people. And it's very hard to not just establish communication between people, between countries, but it's very hard to execute. So this conversation will have some results after. And this is the main. So yes, we can talk with French people, we can talk with American people, yes, we can establish, but will it be only just conversation and talk, just coffee talk, or some Zoom calls or something? Something has to happen, so some team has to execute it. This is the main part. And during this executing phase, all this cultural and language misunderstanding very often ruin very cool intents and very cool ideas. So I wouldn't like comment what think American society, it's their stuff, or what they think wrong or what they think good. In the end of the day, we're just like door kickers, So I want to thank a lot to people that's still with us. Thank a lot over all our friends and all our people, even if they don't have possibility to do something, but they just believe in us. We want to thank. They did a lot, and it's for us. We don't forget about this.
Thank you, and thank you. I have another interesting question actually from our viewers, again about being a part of International Legion but not fighting. Do you have any jobs for people who, for example, want to interrogate Russians, or a spy, or being a spy? Do you have anything like that? Maybe some non-combatant positions?
So if you are in the International Legion of DIU, so International Legion of DIU is first of all special activity unit. So we don't have a lot this type of proposals. Also, we don't have possibilities to let guys interrogate POVs. So it doesn't work like this because we follow legislation. There is entire procedure, and it's not our task. Okay, and it's questionable, but it's not really a big possibility to think that you can just show up here and to do what you want to do. So if you want to become a part, like a soldier, you should expect that you will be a soldier. And if you expect you're going to be the soldier, even if in your background you was general or colonel, you will be a private. And you will have to start these steps in the service. Yes. So if you want to be a part of DIU Legion like community, when we have a lot of veterans all over the world, where we have a lot of our friends, a lot of different private organizations that help us a lot. And it's not always about some resources. We are fine. Very lot of help that they do in their specialty, yes? So you don't need to fight. So just should make a decision.
Yeah. Okay, thanks. I'm getting told that a lot of people who may be not watching us from the very beginning, they are asking the same question about rank system in the International Legion of DIU. So maybe briefly, if you could repeat yourself, can one be an officer or not, and why not? Just briefly, because a lot of people apparently is very interested, and maybe they were not listening from the very beginning.
Myself?
No. I mean, could you explain again why a soldier from the International Legion cannot be an officer? Because that's what our viewers are asking again. So I'm sorry for repeating, but...
No problem. According to Ukrainian legislation, and because all the personnel of our unit is official military personnel, yes, so we have to follow the rules and procedures that our Verkhovna Rada and our leadership have and give us to execute. According to legislation, the foreigner personnel can serve on the privates and sergeants ranks. Up to now, the legislation that allows or like makes happen that foreigner can serve as an officer, we don't have this procedure. But I think soon it should be changed. Also because the legislation that we sometimes have to follow, 2.5 years ago, nobody expected that we have to follow, we have to build this type of unit. And some moments of this are maybe old, maybe not. It's not our level to give any оцінки.
Statement.
Yes, to measure this. Yes, it's not ours. We execute it. So something maybe like procedure is old, but soon it will be like changed. But up to now, up to today, like privates, like riflemen, surgeons, yes. But officers, maybe soon.
Not yet, yeah. Okay, thank you again. We also have a question from our donor, Maria Magdalena, and she's asking about people from Sweden. Are there a lot from fighters from Sweden in International Legion, and how are they performing?
Thank you, Maria. So yes, we have guys from Sweden, but I don't really have possibility to execute numbers or percentage. Yes, we definitely have. I know personally, and usually these Nordic like Viking guys, they are quite. I don't know if it's possible to say on this channel, like badass guys, you know.
It's possible, you can.
Yes, so they're cool, they're fine, and
Cool.
they execute and they fight and they do a great job.
Thanks a lot. Actually, since we are speaking about, I don't know, just started speaking about different countries, I saw personally there are a lot of people from, I don't know, post-Soviet countries, but in my case especially, I know that you guys have a unit consisting of Chechens. How are they? How is it to work with them? Because what I heard that they're quite different to the rest. How is it so? I mean, did they just behave differently? You know, because maybe some cultural thing. So how do you find working with Chechens, and how do they perform in International Legion DIU?
Yes, we have Ichkeria component in our unit. They're also very well-spirit and very energy, and very experienced also guys. They don't have, and we usually don't practice to create some, one national unit inside. Yes, usually all our teams, and you guys have to be ready for this, that your team members, so for example, if you are from US, so you will not serve only with US guys. We tried to build this model, but it didn't show itself efficient. So that's why, yes, we have guys from different countries. We have guys from Ichkeria, of course. Yes, they fight, they do a great job. And they behave different. Ukrainians behave different. Like United States guys, they're always the habit to use these pouches, nicotine pouches. They behave different. Huh?
Me too. I'm a big fan of that.
Yeah, also, yes. Thanks, United States of America, that you brought this up here. So everybody has their issues in cultural issues. And for us, for Ukrainian officers that were designated to build this type of unit, for us it was like a challenge in the very beginning. And all the time we have the situations when somebody did something, and your mindset, your officer's mindset, your mindset has to be flexible, to not from the very beginning to think that guy is weird or he is something like psycho or something. Sometimes they do something, but in their reality, in their countries, it's normal. It took us maybe 1.5 years. Yes, there were a lot of dramas, there were a lot of different weird situations because people from different countries didn't know how to deal with each other. And everybody like special activity guys.
No.
Everybody have very high rate of testosterone, yes. And yes, but we figured it out. Yes, now we know what to wait from different guys from different countries. And usually we have very experienced our guys from that countries that with us from the very beginning. During these 2.5 years, they became something like, I also like to joke that, you know, everybody heard about Italian Americans, about like Irish Americans. Now we have like United States Ukrainians, like British Ukrainians, and they understand very good Ukrainian mentality. And they can explain us something that we still don't understand in their country's mentality. And it helps. Now this process is more, so much less, if try to say, this type of problems.
But you deal with this difference in culture on the like officer level, or do you maybe have like, you know, cultural different classes and everyone sits, like how does it, so you actually like, it's more the commanders that have to use their experience, or do you maybe like, you know, maybe you have like some introduction lecture, how does it work on the private level? Understand?
All our guys, one of the first classes now that they get when they start their like adaptation infantry course, it's the class about Ukraine.
Okay.
We just try to explain them where they are. Like, guys, Ukraine is, there is Kharkiv Oblast region, yes, there is our like issues of our language, this is our issues of our history, this, so they have this type of class. We don't really have the time and passion to give this type of classes about all the countries that we have. Yes,
Okay.
But when guys work and train and live with each other during some period of time, on some stage adaptation is happening. And it's not about some cultural differences, first of all. It's about, are you toxic guy or not? And are you ready to be here or not? Are you ready to serve here? Or you want to, you know, to explain everybody how to win this war? So it's not, it doesn't matter. Everybody like have issues, but everybody like, it's more about, are you adequate person or not? Are you ready or not? So
common sense logic,
the
right?
common sense logic, yes. The common sense and logic and flexibility of mindset is a critical stuff that you need here. It's your survivability like instrument. Yes, because you will need it all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the maybe last part is some difference between guys from one country to another country. We try to collect adequate and common sense people with experience that want to share, but not to like solve their own stuff. So yes, teamwork, you know.
I understand. We have another question from our viewers, and some of them are curious. So, who performs better? People who come with the experience in combat zones in different countries, or the newcomers that you raise to be a fighter? Do you have some kind of, I don't know, statistics, or not even statistics, but your personal observance, your personal opinion?
Okay, I will answer to this question in a little bit not obvious manner, if you don't mind. Guys, this is not a sport. This is not like a NFL and Sunday night show, yes? This is a war machine, this is organization that everybody has some their position, some their specific role. Some war can be sexy, some not. Something can be very, very, very like require some experience and something not, but both will be critically. Some guy that is responsible for setting up some repeater, you know, for creating comms and connections. Yes, he is not running with Diamond Defense, Daniel Defense M4 with this whole NPAC 15, yes, and doesn't make this cool operations, cool, I mean, in the quotes, yes. But some guy that is setting up repeater without this connection, these guys will be like, will have problems. And every job is very, very important. And it's impossible to compare what is cool, what's not cool, or what's interesting, not interesting. This is a big team, and this team works. If everybody do their job, like very high like possibility that everybody will be fine. So please don't feel or don't expect some, you know, these fairy tales from the from the videos, from movie, from Hollywood. Yes, please stay in touch with reality and don't expect something like cool emotions, or if you have some problems with your previous, you know, need to prove yourself something. Yes. Understand it, please, like a very important, very like accurate job that has to be done.
Yeah, it's not a joke. I mean, the war, because people usually come things, as you said, they have a little bit different vision sometimes. Another question from our viewers, and they are asking if he, for example, had a previous service in the army, but on some technical, he had some technical job, for example, mechanic or the aircraft serviceman. Are you looking for the technical, mechanical jobs as well, or is it, in your case, strictly combat positions?
For our unit, I would say, like openly, it's not really relevant. If we discuss technical, like guys, technicians that will fix like vehicles. You know, we have like service centers also in Ukraine. We have Ukrainian guys that know how to maintain car. We even have sushi bars here, you know, like we even can buy some coffee or hot dog on the gas station. So it's not some desert where nothing, like we have nothing and we need somebody to fix our cars.
I think
I know, I'm joking. It's a little bit ironic style, just to explain the essence. Our team, our unit is very mobile. So yes, we have, for example, Western types of weapons, and but there is not such a really need in our unit to some just technician guy that will just do some technician task. Maybe in other units, in other brigades is. Yes, but every time you can send a message to our direct, like to send your description of your skills, and if it's not be relevant for us, we will not waste your time, but we will, for example, propose it to some other teams, our units, so use us as a point of contact of in Ukraine easily.
So, for example, if someone who doesn't suit well for International Legion of Gur, you will channel them, for example, to some other units in the Ukrainian army, or did I understand correctly? Could you help? Like,
it's hard to answer this question because, for example, I helped to set up and build this recruiting process also in our unit. We didn't have such requests. I think it was this question is something kind of like a result of somebody's imagination. What if, you know, like,
yeah, I
so know some technician of F-16 messaged or sent request, guys. So it just never happens. But if somebody has some very, very specific set of skills, but yes, he will definitely need to go through selection, he definitely need to go through the basic infantry adaptation course, he will have to go through all this process because he needs to understand where he is.
Thank you. I would like also just to summarize what we've been talking from the beginning, that the International Legion of Gur, they're mostly looking for combat people who are willing to train hard and then to work hard. So if you guys are interested in different professions, maybe you address to some other different units who also take foreigners. We have many of them in Ukraine, so let's summarize this. Also, another question from the viewers. What are kind of like bare minimum physical requirements? For example, how many push-ups or jumps do you need to do? Do you have this information? Do you know this information?
This information usually provided to guys when they start messaging with recruiting team. So maybe we shouldn't discuss like numbers now, because in a month this video will be like old and criteria will change. There is nothing like Olympic champions possibilities you need to have. So it's regular like in Western armies initial selection process.
What would be your personal recommendation, for example, for people who are going to apply
Yes.
Maybe what would you recommend to do to enhance your cardio, to do CrossFit, or what would be your personal advice to them?
Rucksack marching. To walk a lot with weights. Yes, it's the rucksack marching.
Okay.
And it's like not to start, you know, a lot of these young guys will now wear like 50 kilos and now go like 50 kilo clicks. No, to start it with progression, to start it with like from the very beginning and then to increase possibilities, but you have to be able to walk a lot, to carry heavy weights during days and to not have your knee problems or back problems or something like this. It's not, it's mostly not about like running. It's mostly about heavy weights, like
stamina, enduring, like to be able to perform for a long time at, for example, small speed.
It's aerobic mode, yes, and rucksack marching.
Okay, thanks. Another question from our viewers is: does GUR help with visa for those who need visa in Ukraine? Do you provide some document support, or is it up to?
According to legislation, now. And still, in the very beginning of a large-scale invasion, there was a presidential order, if I remember, or to say right, I don't know this terminology in English, that creates like the regime without visa for the people who joins the armed forces of Ukraine. That's why if guys need it, we send them invitation letter. And they cross the border with this invitation letter. But still, almost all the European, Western countries, they don't need visa to travel to Ukraine.
Well, I mean, we have viewers from all over the world, not just Western countries.
Yes,
so maybe
for guys that really want and have passion to join the unit, for them usually the main problem is to get to European Union, because only one way to enter Ukraine is to European Union. And sometimes it's not the problem to get to Ukraine, but it's called to transit European Union. But it's not very like popular problem.
Okay, I understand. I think we're running out of time. Sadly, if you want to address something or to say something to our viewers, if you have some message or I don't know, or just you want to share something, maybe you need people or some specific people. So it's your time, and then I guess we'll be saying goodbye to each other and to the viewers also.
Yeah, okay. This is my first this type of
mine too.
Yes, of performing. I'm thinking over previous part when we discussed do you need, guys, if you have anything like questions about Ukraine, if you have, if you need to understand something relevant, just direct message to our Instagram page, to our Twitter page. Use our unit as point of contact in the country. We are all very, very well connected. If our cooperation will not be relevant, so we will address you to somebody that really needs it. We will help you and everything like this. So to say thank you for this possibility to be in your first, one more congratulations time, in your first show. It was really interesting and cool.
Thank you. Same for me. I thank you so much for what you do, and I know you're very busy. And hopefully we'll meet some other time, maybe here, maybe somewhere in the battle zone. I don't know. We do a lot of fun stuff here also. So thanks, dear viewers, for watching us and for your great questions. And hopefully we'll see you sometime very soon in this studio, but with someone else. Thanks and goodbye.